I'm breaking down that viral packing method that has taken social media by storm. You've seen it, I have too. We've admired it, but then you think, could I really do that with the clothes in my closet? That seems like a lot of work. You know what? It is a lot of work, but it will also give you great results. In fact, 27 outfits. That's right, all in your carry-on bag. So if you have a trip on your horizon and you want to get everything into a carry-on suitcase and a tote bag, you absolutely can. I'm going to show you the ins and outs, every little detail so that you can work this with your closet. Let's get going on that viral packing method. Hello and welcome to today's video. I'm really excited about this one. I have been prepping it for about a week now. I'm just so excited because I think most of us have some kind of trip on the horizon that we really do want to pack strategically and smart for. Whether you really need to get it all into a carry-on suitcase or not, maybe you're going by car or something like that, you don't have to. You still want to pack smart. So I am going to show you the 3x3x3 packing method that has gone viral lately, but I'm also going to give you a few cheats that you might want to incorporate if you have room, because if you do have room, you might as well, right? If you pack these 9 pieces plus a few key accessories, you really can get 27 outfits. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and show you a lot of outfits that I have created with these pieces. So let it roll. As it's rolling, let me just tell you, some of these outfits are very different from the others. I was quite surprised at the variety that I am able to create with 9 different pieces. That would be 3 tops, 3 bottoms, and 3 completer pieces, or jackets in my case. You could include different kinds of completer pieces, of course, and one of those could even be a true coat if needed. We are going to add in accessories, and we're also going to do this with just 3 pairs of shoes. But you know what? I found out it's not as easy as just going and pulling 3 pairs of pants, 3 tops, and 3 jackets from your closet. You really do have to think, you really do have to strategize, just like you're working a puzzle. In fact, some have called this something like working a puzzle, like a Sudoku puzzle, but you're doing it with packing. What you're going to be able to do is, like, if you were to lay everything out on a grid of 9 pieces, if you lay it out just so, alternating the way you lay things out in each of those columns, then you actually can get an outfit out of each of the 3 columns, each of the 3 rows, each of the 2 diagonals, and all the other pieces that touch each other on that grid create outfits too. So 3 bottoms, 3 tops, and 3 jackets will give you 27 outfits. And I am going to slow it down and show you those a little bit more slowly too. But you truly can get 27 diverse, beautiful outfits this way. So let's talk about how to do it now. That's the secret here. I'm not just showing you, ooh, look what I did, and ooh, look what I can create from that. I want to tell you how I did this because it was some work. It took me a full day to come up with these 9 pieces, and I want to tell you the reasoning behind it. Hey, my name is Kay, and this is Dress for My Day, and I show up here every Wednesday to encourage women over 50 to get dressed for our day in a way that is stylish, that's current, and that helps us to look our best, because I really believe that we still have so much to offer, and part of that is getting out and going somewhere, right, ladies? If you have the ability and you have the time right now, we absolutely need to get out and explore. And I have discovered that even if I can check a bag, I feel much more footloose and fancy-free if I can accommodate a carry-on bag only. When we pack lighter, we travel a little lighter, it just frees us up in so many ways. So today we are going to do that. All right, let's get started with how you go about creating this 9-piece capsule wardrobe for travel that frees you up so much. I am going to create my travel capsule, as you can see, with really 3 neutrals. Can you do it with colors? If you prefer a lot of color, you absolutely can, but I think it would take even more work. And I also think that if you create it with colors, you're going to end up feeling a little bit more like every outfit looks kind of like the other than when you do neutrals. And here's why. I started off trying to make my outfits red white, and blue. Not necessarily patriotic, but I just love those colors this time of year. But sure enough, as I started working them, I did get some monochromatic outfits that way, but I got a lot of red, white, and blue outfits. I kind of really began to get tired of that color scheme. Whereas when you go with neutrals and then you add some accessories like I've done here, you can actually completely change the color scheme of outfits as you add different accessories. But let's start where all good packing capsules start. And ladies, guess what? That's with your shoes. For years now, I have been starting my travel capsules with shoes, and I've been encouraging women to do the same thing. If you are going to be doing any walking whatsoever, like even if just one day is going to be out getting about, doing a tour, walking a good little bit in downtown or something like that, you are going to need a pair of sneakers. I generally manage to get by with a pair of fashionable sneakers for even a good walking trip, like we're going to do lots of walking, if I make sure it's one that I can walk a long ways in. I've had really good luck with this little Tree Torn sneaker. Remember Tree Torn from back in the day, like when you were a teenager? They have come back around. They have a really modern looking little sneaker here, and I like this one because it actually has all three colors of my capsule wardrobe. It has navy, it has beige or oatmeal, and it has white. So it's going to work really nicely with my particular capsule. I simply suggest that if possible that you go with a sneaker in maybe a neutral tone, something soft if possible, especially if you are going to be wearing any white or light colored bottoms. The second shoe that I encourage you to consider is one that really accommodates the season, the weather, for instance, and maybe some other things you'll be doing. So I have chosen a sandal. Now, right now, in a lot of places in the United States, it would be too cool to wear a sandal. But we're not talking about just right now. We're talking about packing for later in the spring and even into summer. So I have chosen a sandal to go with these outfits, a great little nude color Tory Burch. I could go with a cognac sandal here too, just really whatever you can make work with your different outfits. But it should be, once again, something that you enjoy wearing, something that's comfortable. And then for my third shoe, I've chosen one that will elevate my outfits just a little bit. It's still a flat, still comfortable. I can still use it to walk to dinner, walk to brunch, but it is a little suede slingback from M. Jimmy. Really beautiful little shoe built off of the same pattern as their famous ballet shoes, the Una. So this is their Una slingback. So those are my three shoes. Two of them are kind of a nude or flesh tone, and then my sneaker. Your shoes are going to determine the next piece that you're going to choose, which is your bottoms. Now, for my capsule, I have chosen 3 pairs of pants, but of course you could swap in a skirt here or even a pair of shorts or a skirt if you preferred. But let's talk about the pants I chose and why. I have chosen 3 different types of pants, and that is something I definitely encourage you to do when you're working this capsule. Resist the urge to choose 3 different pairs of jeans, or just 3 different pairs of dress pants, or 3 pairs of knit pants. This is where you can give yourself some variety. So especially if you're going to be gone 1, 2, 3 weeks and you're trying to make this work and you're going to need to be wearing these pieces over and over, you're going to want some variety in the way things feel, the way things sit on you, and how dressy and casual they feel. So I've chosen a pair of lightweight cinched waist. These are a pull-up pant with a cinched waist and a drawstring and some little pockets here, utility pockets. Great little lightweight pant from Splendid. Just lovely. I did size up to a large, and I don't know why. I think these are really a little bit too big for me. I probably use the size guide because I always do. So if they look a little large in my outfits, that's why I did size up. So just to keep that in consideration. I'm going to link everything over here that's available. Of course, if it's not available, you don't see it showing up in the little pop-ups, then definitely check below in the description box for additional links. Everything I'm showing you is available, and I do have links for it. The second piece I packed, because I always love wearing white jeans in the springtime and even in the summer. You can wear them year round. Yeah, you can do that, but we're talking spring and summer. These are from J. Crew. These are ones I had last year, but they are available this year. And they're a great little jean, very opaque, an ankle length, well, at least they're ankle length on me now because I cut them off. And just a great jean. They're going to go with, of course, first of all of my shoes. And remember, that's what we have to start with, is we're choosing 3 different pairs of pants that are different, but they also work with all 3 pairs of shoes. In fact, as I chose these pants, I did have to pick some and eliminate them because they didn't work with the shoes. For instance, I tried to sneak a pair of full-length jeans, white jeans in there. That just wasn't going to work because I needed a heel to wear with them, or they just didn't look quite right with the little ballet flat or the sandal. So you have to really work this and spend some time with it. And I made sure that all 3 pairs of my shoes, or at least the shoes, all 3 pairs of my shoes went with at least 2 of the bottoms. That's what you need to do. You don't have to wear all 3 pairs of shoes with all 3 pairs of pants, but I would say that they all should be able to be worn with at least 2 of the pairs of pants. Next, I chose a pair of Athleta pants. This is a nice knit pant that is perfect for travel. It has lots of stretch. It is anti-rip. It's very comfortable. You can easily wash it and then hang it to dry. It dries fast. It's moisture wicking. It's just a great little pant that is in a neutral color, of course. I've gotten mine here in kind of an oatmeal beige. It's going to work nicely with everything. So you can see from my 3 pairs of pants, I have an oatmeal beige, a white, and a soft denim color. So that really gives me some versatility. Now I know those colors they are neutrals, but like I said, just hang with me and you're going to see, well, you've already seen that you do get some diversity in your outfits. Now, once again, with my tops, I suggest that you choose 3 different types of tops. Now I do have 2 t-shirts, nothing wrong with 2 of them being the same type of shirt. Although honestly, I really would have preferred it if I could have also gotten maybe like a button-up polo shirt in there, just another knit shirt, but a polo. I think that would be really fun. 2 of mine are just t-shirts. One is a crew neck and one is a V-neck, so at least they're different in the necklines and they're different in the fabrics. This one is a smooth, like a Pima cotton, and this one is a ribbed cotton, so it's got lots of stretch in it. It's actually not even a cotton, I think it's a tinsel. I have a navy and I have a soft muted or kind of a mottled, I guess you would say, gray here that works beautifully with everything. Both of these work so nicely with everything I've got here. But because I did want some diversity in my tops, I'm also adding a button-up shirt. Now this is just a cotton button-up shirt. It is from Frank and Eileen. You could choose any button-up shirt in your closet, of course. I did go with white just so that it really works, like I said, with everything. I tried to throw something else in there, just wasn't working. You'll see why in a minute. You could, of course, add a linen shirt if you're ready for that, you know, if the season is ready for that. I went ahead and did a cotton shirt. But a linen would work really nicely too. I think a pale blue would be really pretty here, or maybe even, I don't know, you'll see I run into problem with colors, so I kept it a neutral also. But again, I would just go with 3 different types of tops. If you had something maybe a little bit more ruffly, a little button up with some pin tucks and ruffles, that would work really nicely here too. And like I said, I would have liked to have added a polo shirt or a Henley. Just a different kind of collar would give you a little bit more variety in your outfits. Now, once you have 3 pairs of bottoms, like I said, could be a skirt or a skirt or a short in there with those pants, and 3 tops that all work together, that you can make those work together, you're well on your way to your capsule wardrobe. But before we get to my outerwear pieces, I wanted to pause for a beauty bonus. Don't go anywhere because you definitely want to know the rest of my tips and the rules that I encourage you to break. But let's talk about that beauty bonus. I have been using a night cream that I am crazy about, and I just have been dying to share with you. I heard about the Irene Forte Hibiscus Night Cream from some other influencers in my Instagram feed. It was just, like blowing up with this. And so I got really curious, so I ordered some. And let me tell you, they kept saying that it really minimized the lines and wrinkles, that their face looked the best it had looked in years. But a lot of them were younger than me. I'm 61 years old. Is that right? No, I'm 62. I'm 62 years old. So I needed to know it was actually going to work on mature skin. So I ordered some. Now they do have two different kinds. They have one in a pump that's a larger size, and the smaller size comes in this little tub. And it goes on. It has the consistency almost, I would say, of like a melted marshmallow cream. Don't let that turn you off though, because it feels amazing when you apply it. This hibiscus night cream includes an ingredient called myoxinol. And myoxinol is a neuropeptide derived from the seeds of the hibiscus. It is dubbed nature's Botox. And what it does is it plumps up your skin, it makes it healthier, it makes it more hydrated, it minimizes those lines, especially fine lines and expression lines. And sure enough, my biggest expression lines are right between my brow here, right above my nose, right here at the chin, the little cleft, right above the little cleft of my chin, and of course at the corners of my eyes. And you know what? I still have them, so if you look real carefully, you're still going to see those, but they are definitely more shallow than they were before, which is good because, makeup and all tends to sink into those and really cause a little line, really accentuates those lines when your makeup falls into those little crannies. But this has made such a huge difference. I really did notice a difference in the first night I used it. The next morning I woke up, my skin felt so hydrated and fresh. I was blown away. But truly, after 10 days, I noticed a major difference. Now look, I have always used great skincare from the time I was probably 12 years old. So I'm not someone who wrecked my skin and then this saved me. But I will tell you that of all the skincare products that I have shared anywhere on my blog here, anywhere at all, this is right up there. And it is definitely worth the price, and it has made a huge difference in my skin. So I just couldn't help but share it. It's the Irene Forte Hibiscus Night Cream. And I have also been using the Irene Forte Hibiscus Serum. So together, these two products have given me really great results, and I'm going to give you a link below. Now let's move on to those completer pieces. We're rounding out our 9 pieces in our wardrobe. I went ahead and added a plaid linen jacket. This is a blazer, plaid linen. Now, the reason I wanted to do this, I do suggest that at least one piece, actually I said at least, really just one piece of your 9, I think it's great to make it a print, a pattern, something completely different that's really going to add some personality, something besides just solids. But what you're going to find is once you've added one, it's really hard to add another. In fact, I couldn't. The only thing I could have done, I waffled on, was I have a little striped tee, just like this one, but it's in an oatmeal stripe. Might would have worked under here, but it would be pattern mixing, and I wasn't really sure that I wanted to have to do that over and over. So I went with this one pattern. It is in those neutrals. In fact, it has, basically all the neutrals that I've got here. So it does limit then, of course, like I said, the tops that you can use or the pants. So only one piece of your 9 needs to have this much personality. And like I said, this one is very muted, so it doesn't even have that much personality. You could go with a really bold print. You could go with a really bold stripe. You're just going to want to limit it to one. But I love this little jacket. It gives me lots of versatility. The next jacket I chose, though, was white. And I did white because I think it's fun to create a monochromatic white look. I do not at all mind wearing white jacket over white jeans, white over this beige, and of course white over the denim. This is another linen piece. It's very modern. It's a completely different kind of jacket, the little zip up club jacket here, really great with all the pieces that I have. And then my third piece, I just couldn't resist a denim jacket. I think a denim jacket is always a good idea. It gives you a little bit more weight, a little bit more heft in your outerwear, so a little bit more warmth, but still just works with everything beautifully. Even because I chose my colors pretty carefully, the denim over the chambray type pant works really nicely. It's a boxy cut. It is actually a chore jacket instead of the traditional trucker jacket. And of course, the beauty comes when you add in some accessories. I'm really into scarves, so I have added most of my color with scarves. This scarf has that slate blue, but it also has a pretty coral in it, a little bit of green, some black. This scarf, of course, has some red and navy, so I've got a little bit of red in here now with all, with some of these. This scarf is more of a slate blue with a little bit of a taupe and gold and a cream, so it really changes things completely. Really sticks really close to this palette, makes it look a little bit more monochromatic. And this scarf is where I really go with the color. I've got some green, I have some red, I even have some yellow in here, some more blue. So it really can change things. Now, of course, I could have added a scarf, and I still could, that's really predominantly green or even lavender or purple or something. Just add something completely different with my scarves or with a necklace. I have a pretty little beaded necklace here from Bauble Bar that will, it's just a light blue, but I could add a yellow one or an orange one, add some color here too. Now, if your personal piece is going to be your carry-on bag, your tote bag, then I would go with a tote like this. It's going to work really nicely with all of my outfits because it is in this nice soft neutral. And then you could carry a clutch or a belt bag, something else small, tuck some socks, some undies or whatever in it, put it in your suitcase or even in this bag. You could add some color with that second bag as well. Of course, you could also add some color with things like a hat, some bracelets, some earrings, just different pieces of jewelry. Have you ever started one of these puzzles, one of these 9 square puzzles and gotten a little stumped? I have, and sometimes I have to admit, I cheat. I go to the back of the book. I find at least one of those numbers where, I can put in somewhere. I get myself going again. And so to me, a capsule like this just begs for a little cheating. And you know what? If you've got room in your suitcase, why not add a little bit of color? So I wanted to share with you where I would cheat. And here's what I would do. The first thing I would do is add 1 or 2 or 3 of these little tank tops just in a solid color. It could really mix things up. You add this red tank top. It's not going to take much room in your suitcase. You could probably even put it in your tote bag, and it really changes things up. It adds a nice splash of color just for every once in a while in your wardrobe. Now, both of my pieces just happen to be red, but of course this could be different. It could be a yellow dress or an orange dress or a pink dress. But a dress, of course, is going to stand alone, except you absolutely could put these jackets over it. This particular dress probably wouldn't look great with my little plaid blazer, but it looks really nice with the white club jacket and the denim jacket, and some of those scarves would look really pretty with this dress too. So adding a easy dress, something that fits close to your body that doesn't take up much packing room like this one, is another great way to really stretch your capsule wardrobe, add a little bit more personality and more color, and you're not really adding a whole lot extra to your suitcase. I have just 2 more notes to add. One more way to add some personality to your wardrobe here, I think, would be to swap in a graphic tee for one of your solid t-shirts or other types of tops. The 3 tops that you have, as I mentioned, maybe the necklines could be different, but if I were to swap in a graphic tee for this one, it would just add a little bit more personality. I love a graphic tee, and I actually probably would do that if I were packing this myself. And then a final cheat that I think I would definitely do if I were packing this myself is take out one of the jackets, especially if we're talking summertime, and add in a different top in its place. So take out, for instance, I would probably in the summer take out this blazer and add in a different top, or maybe I would take out the button shirt and add in that graphic tee. So play around with that. I would love to hear from you in the comments if you've ever used this packing method or something similar to this to pack a capsule wardrobe for an extensive trip that you wanted to maybe consolidate into one suitcase. Let me know what worked for you and what little cheats you added. I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching today. Remember, everything is linked down below in the description box. Be sure to check there also for additional YouTube videos that I recommend and blog posts that I highly recommend you check out at my website, dressformyday.com. Thanks so much for being here, ladies, and I will see you again next Wednesday. Bye now.